So here are the Goldman Sachs excuses. Number 10. Huh? Number 9. You're saying fraud like it's a bad thing. Number 8. Since when are financial institutions not allowed to screw their customers? Number 4. Hey, sport, how much to make these questions go away? And the number 1 Goldman Sachs excuse, it's Obama's fault?
Goldman Sachs is the firm that everyone loves to hate, and for good reason.
Many people believe, and in many cases justifiably so, that Wall Street lost sight of its larger public obligations and allowed certain trends and practices to undermine the financial system's stability.
Basically, the SEC is saying Goldman was deceptive and misleading in the way they marketed a particular product.
And the SEC announcing these charges against Goldman Sachs and also against a Goldman Sachs vice president.
You had less oversight than a pit boss in Las Vegas.
Mr. Tor, same question for you. Do you have a duty, Senator? I believe we have a duty. Do you believe that you have a duty?
Well, I don't know how any of that is.
Not only does this firm bear unreasonable power in the world financial structure, it is so intertwined with the U.S. government that the term government Sachs has now emerged in our lexicon. To be fair, Goldman Sachs is the premier investment banking firm. But did they achieve that position fairly? Marco's take says no.
I wonder how many people in the SEC used to work for Goldman Sachs or will work for
Oh, yeah.
a lot. Isn't that the most revolving of revolving doors?
Yes. Conspiracy.
That's
theories.
a conspiracy. You know it.
Most obvious is the revolving door between high-level Goldman Sachs executives and high-level government posts. A partial listing includes the following: Rahm Emanuel, John Corzine, Hank Paulson, Tim Geithner, Neil Kashkari, key Treasury players Dan Jester, Steve Shafran, Edward C. Forrest, and Robert K. Steele. The list goes on and on. The conflicts of interests are obvious and very ominous.
Goldman CEO Lloyd Blankfein will say, and this is a quote, "We didn't have a massive short against the housing market, and we certainly did not bet against our clients."
A senior Goldman Sachs executive sent an email message to clients recently disclosing that the firm's fundamental strategies group might have shared investment ideas with the firm's proprietary trading group or some clients before sharing them with others. The email message, obtained by DealBook, demonstrates the various conflicts that Goldman and other firms face in balancing the interests of their own clients and their own trading operations. We may trade and may have existing positions based on trading ideas before we have discussed those trading ideas with you. Marco's take? What a great bunch of guys. Goldman Sachs is also believed to be one of, if not the controlling owner of the Fed. A highly secretive entity known as the Plunge Protection Team is also believed to be directed by Goldman Sachs. The Working Group on Financial Markets, also known as the Plunge Protection Team, was created in 1988 by Ronald Reagan in response to the Black Monday stock market crash in 1987. Their operations have always been shrouded in secrecy, with a Washington Post article from 1997 writing that the group aims to prevent the smoothly running global financial machine from locking up. If Goldman Sachs is indeed involved in market operations, that would explain the firm's enormous profitability, which emanates primarily from its trading book, not lending as its bank mandate would suggest. Nothing like having a little inside information. trading ahead of clients, and minting money through the Fed.
These are all exercises in risk management.
Well, I'm just going to be blunt with you. It sounds to me a little bit like selling a car with faulty brakes and then buying an insurance policy on the buyer of those cars.
We won't know the unvarnished truth until the Fed's, Goldman's, and the Treasury's surreptitious activities are disclosed, reviewed, and audited. However, the circumstantial evidence is quite damning. Let's put these folks under the microscope and, if necessary, clean house. Think I'm being unfair to big old Goldman Sachs? Weigh in with your text or video comments. Thanks for watching.
So that would mean a settlement, and you've got to put a dollar number on this. It would be in the billions.
Absolutely,
Plural.
absolutely, Stuart. It would be in the billions. It would be perhaps the largest settlement with the United States government in American history. Do they have that kind of cash? You guys know that better than I do.
They do. They do. They got it.